Welcome to the Raising Confident Girls podcast, your guide to raising strong, confident daughters. I'm Melissa Jones, the founder of Girls Positivity Club and a teacher for over 20 years. In a world where girls often feel overwhelmed, anxious, and confused, this podcast is your go-to space. As caregivers, we navigate challenges together. I founded Girls Positivity Club to provide a place where you belong and get the tools to face today's hurdles. Consider this your regular check-in with a trusted friend, offering insights and practical tips for meaningful conversations. I'm here to help you feel confident on this journey of raising a generation of empowered girls. Let's dive in and raise those confident girls together. Hey everybody, it's Melissa and welcome back to Raising Confident Girls. Today we're talking about one of those moments that can really be frustrating as a parent, because you can see something in your daughter that she can't quite see in herself yet. She says something like, I can't do it. I'm not good at this. I don't want to try. Maybe it's homework she suddenly shuts down over, a skill in sports she gets frustrated by, or something she used to do easily that suddenly feels hard. And sometimes this time of year can make that happen even more. And you know that she can. And that's what makes it so frustrating. You've seen her do things like this before. You've seen her figure things out. You've seen what she's capable of. And in that moment, you're thinking, why is she saying that? Where is this coming from? Do I push her or back off? Because part of you wants to say, you can do this. And of course, we should say things like that. But the other part of you is thinking, what if she really feels stuck right now? And that tension is what makes you start second guessing yourself a little. So here's what's important to understand first. When your daughter says, I can't, she's usually not making a statement about her actual ability. She's reacting to how something feels to her in that moment. That might be frustration, overwhelm, fear of getting it wrong, fear of what other people might think. And when that feeling gets big enough, it can override what she actually can do in that moment. And this can show up differently depending on her age. A younger girl might get frustrated quickly, say, I can't, and shut down, walk away, or avoid trying again. While an older girl might hesitate before starting, downplay herself, say, I'm not good at this. Or what I would see in the classroom a lot is, I used to be good at that, and now I can't even do the first thing. She might also avoid putting herself in situations where she might struggle and just choose the easier way all the time. But underneath both of those is usually some version of, I don't feel confident in this moment. And why you can do it doesn't always land, like us saying you can do it, and this is the part that gets really tricky. Because your instinct is to encourage her. And of course, I would never tell you not to encourage your daughter. We want to say things like, you can do this. You're good at this. I've seen you do it before. And while that comes from a good place, it doesn't always land the way we'd hope. Because when she's in that I can't moment, she's not looking for evidence. She's looking for relief from how it feels. So when we try to convince her, it can feel like we're skipping over that feeling. And that's often when you'll see more resistance, more shutdown, or her doubling down on I can't. And you're like, where is this coming from? You used to be able to do this, or this isn't normally the way homework goes, or this isn't usually the way fill in the blank. But here's the shift. Instead of trying to convince her, the goal in that moment is to meet her where she is first. not by agreeing that she can't, but by acknowledging what it feels like. Because once she feels understood, that's when she becomes more open to trying again. And if you think about it, just think of your own life. If you've ever been talking to your mom or a spouse or somebody or close friend, and you're telling them what you're frustrated by, or you feel like giving up, or whatever the feeling is, and they start offering you all these solutions, or just keep, telling you, oh, just keep your head up, it'll be okay, or just tell yourself, what you would say to your younger self, or just fill in the blank, whatever. And you're like, okay, that's not helpful. I don't feel like they understand. Of course, you want to hear all those other good things. And of course, those are the things that you do need to hear too. But even if you put yourself in that position, you need to feel understood first. It's kind of like when a spouse or a parent starts to, like I said, give you all the solutions or things you should be doing, then it can often create more frustration. And I'm not saying that you're trying to do that with your daughter or anything like that. I think it's all coming from a good place because we're trying to support, we're trying to figure out a way to help her see that she can do it. And so if you feel that urge to jump in and fix it right away, like those examples I was giving, even just taking a second to pause can help you respond more intentionally, because that first response sets the tone for what happens next. So instead of saying you can do it, and again, it doesn't mean you never say those things, but you might try this first. I know that feels really frustrating right now. I know it feels really hard right now. Or this does feel hard, doesn't it? Or even I can see why you'd want to stop. Because what this does is help her feel understood without reinforcing that she can't. And you might not see a shift right away, but it lowers the resistance enough for her to stay in it a little bit longer and even be more open to hearing all of the you cans and all the positive reinforcement we want to give. So here's how you can help her move forward. Once she feels understood, she's not fighting you anymore. And that's when you can gently help her move forward, not by jumping to the end, but by helping her take a small step. You might say, let's just try the first part. And I would see this a lot with homework or with classwork when they would get frustrated and start to give up. Let's just do the first step. Let's just do this very first part. Maybe that means doing the first math problem together. Maybe that means walking into practice before deciding how she feels, or trying it for 5 minutes instead of the whole thing. Or you could say something like, you don't have to do the whole thing. Just start here. Or set a timer for 2 minutes if 5 minutes feels too long. Let's just do as much as we can for 2 minutes. Or what's one small thing you could try? Because confidence doesn't come from being told you can. It comes from experiencing, I tried and I didn't fall apart. I did something even when it felt hard. And here's the part that can still feel hard. She might still resist. She might still say, I don't want to. This is too hard, even when you're handling it well. Because she's still in that feeling. And that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means she's right at the edge of something that feels uncomfortable. And that edge is where growth actually happens. So the next time your daughter says, I can't, and you know she can, instead of trying to prove that she can, help her stay in the moment long enough to try. You can slow it down, meet her where she is, and then help her take one small step forward. Because it's not just about getting her to do the thing. It's about helping her learn I can move through something even when it feels hard. And that's what builds real confidence over time. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to stay in it with her and keep being that steady presence. And that's what makes the difference. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining another empowering episode of the Raising Confident Girls podcast. Share today's insights with caregivers and friends, building beautiful relationships with strong girls. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're not just a podcast, we're a community. Follow Girls Positivity Club on social media for more empowering content on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. This podcast empowers you, supporting incredible girls. Let's create strong, beautiful relationships with the girls in our lives. I appreciate you listening today. Stay confident, stay connected. Until next time, keep raising those confident girls. You've got this.